Welcome back, passive income investors alike. Today, brought to you by one of you beautiful subscribers sent me a message steering me toward this company called WPT Industrial Reit. Pays out over a 5% dividend yield, paid monthly, guys. Really interesting stuff. And I want to show you the message that was sent by Nick. I'm not going to reveal his email just to save his personal information, but I copy and pasted what he sent me in this text document. And he says, give me some input on this stock below. You mentioned in one of your videos you're looking to buy a REIT. I'm also doing the same thing. Take a look at WPT Industrial Reit, ticker wir.u. It trades on the TSX and the New York Stock Exchange. I know that's not an email. I've just looked it up. It's a small REIT that I feel is under the radar right now, and screw off Java. Don't need you right now. It's under the radar right now. More companies are moving away from brick and mortar to stay competitive with the Amazons of the world, and this REIT actually has Amazon as one of their customers. My goodness, that's kind of interesting to hear. I think the need for industrial properties will continue to grow, and this company has a great future. Anyways, I'm very close to buying it as long-term hold in my RRSP to avoid that with U.S. withholding tax. Plus, the dividend yield should be awesome, is what he's saying. So let's take a look at this, guys. So before I break down the website, their books, their dividends, I just want to take a quick look at their overall layout. On my trading platform here, we got Industrial Reit, wir.u, on the Toronto Stock Exchange, currently with a forward PE or PE ratio of 12.5, which is pretty low, I'm going to say, for REITs. Typically, REITs usually trade anywhere from the 15s to like the 30s, I'm going to say. So overall, REIT ratio is somewhat low, which is why I could say it might be under the radar. It looks like it's a little bit more toward the higher of its 52-week range. We've got a 5.5% dividend yield, amazing. And we're looking at roughly a market cap of $787 million. I think this is wrong. I briefly went over their books, but we'll get into that later. So in the meantime, this is just their overall layout. Maybe we'll take a quick peek at their fundamentals while we're in here. We got a book value of 11.82, cash flow 1.23. What I like looking at is the return on assets and the return on equity when it comes to REITs. And these are very, very healthy. We're looking at 11.5% on return on equity and a 7.6 on return of assets, which is it's stable, it's healthy, it's nice. But let's just take a look at the properties, and then we'll really break down the fundamentals here. So on this company here, guys, if we go over this, I already would scan through some of these and open some of their properties up, but we're looking at 57 properties across 50 U.S. states, roughly 18.9 million square feet owned, with 99.3% leased. We got 1.1 billion in gross assets. Like I said, clearly things have changed, which is why I don't think this is accurate, but that's why we go on their website. We've got, so let's just go over this, guys. I'm not going to waste my time looking at this map. They list all of their properties right here, and I've kind of opened up the largest of their properties, the largest square foot, just to take a quick peek at what the biggest factories look like. And from my understanding, as we can see scrolling through here, this company mainly deals with distribution centers, warehouse and distribution, but the majority of it is bulk distribution, and distribution in general seems to be a good majority of their properties. And we can clearly see that in these photos, guys. Just massive warehouse buildings for tractor trailers to come drop things off and pick them up. This one's 754,000 square feet. My God. Big company, guys, or big buildings anyways. I mean, look at the size of these suckers. They are massive. So we got a few of them here. This one's 936,000 square feet. This picture does not do it justice. Massive buildings, guys. Really interesting. So let's just take a quick peek at their dividend history here. This was a thing that turned me off a little bit, and I'll explain more about that later. But if we apply their dividend history and we go all the way back, guys, to 2013, they dropped. It looks like when they first introduced the dividend, they were nice on the first one, and then they cut back a little bit. And the last time they did a dividend increase, which is kind of depressing, was in 2015. Essentially 4 years ago. It's a long time, guys, to have a last dividend increase. I don't like when companies, REITs, whatever, don't pay out more dividends. It's kind of just a sign that the company is either doing something else with their capital or they're just stagnant or something. But we'll find out more about that later. As a quick example, guys, I was reviewing Iron. What is it? Iron. Let me just open up here real quick. Iron Mountain. That was the one. IRM. This company, it literally stores really expensive details, art, things like that inside of a mountain, guys. They just do extreme storage for large companies, countries, whatever. It's a really interesting company, but I'm not here to review this one again. I just want to show you the dividends. And the dividends on IRM, guys, you can see they've increased these steadily. They're not paying them out monthly, but essentially almost year after year, they're just generally increasing the dividend. And you can see from 2013, it was paying out a 20-cent dividend yield, and now we're sitting at a 0.61. That is a crazy turnover in such a short amount of time compared to, say, the WIR here that hasn't done much with the dividends in a while. Mind you, it is a very healthy monthly dividend yield. But I want to show you guys some of their PowerPoint presentations. Some of the stuff in here I found very fascinating. And this is the kind of stuff we need to look at if we are going to be investing in REITs. Very nice overhead shot. I'm sure they own this one here. I don't really get what all of these are. Do they own all of them? Not a picture I would like to see on the front of a real estate overview. I mean, sure, I'm going to presume this is their factory here. They could have laid it out so you could understand that a little better. But anyways, moving on, let's just scan through this, guys. The platform, international growth, blah, blah, blah. Okay, here we go. Modern high quality portfolio, average ceiling heights. We can see the inside of their buildings, average building size, the tenant size, the average cost. Pretty impressive, guys. It's a large square footage right there. Too bad they weren't growing marijuana in it. But anyways, expanding U.S. footprint. So it looks like we've got some target markets, which is probably why this company might expand into the future, guys, because we can clearly see that they want to expand into some new areas. Not sure why they want to expand into all these areas. We could probably find out if we dig deeper. Not that we'll get that far into it today, but we're just going to go over some more stuff here, guys. We got high quality tenant bases. This is what I call interesting. If we take a look here, guys, we have General Mills, a huge company, a Continental Tire, the Americas. Is that what that says? Continental Tire, the Americas. Yeah, okay. Customer products. Unilever Home and Personal Care. Amazon, there it is. E-commerce, Amazon makes up a total analyzed base rent of 4.3%. So Amazon, good client, but again, it's not nothing huge. They're not occupying the largest square footage. It makes up a very small percentage of their customer base. It would have been nice to see that up a little higher. But we still got some incredible companies in here. Full Beauty Brands, Inc., Radial. So, I mean, these are the guys that are paying those dividends right now. And the ones that I would say I like the most are definitely General Mills, Amazon, and I don't know what any of these other guys really do, except unless they're in the name, like Full Beauty, I imagine, is beauty products. So the ones that I would definitely be looking into, General Mills is great. You can see it makes up a very large percentage of their warehouse space. It's probably one of the largest ones, clearly, along with Unilever Home and Personal Care. So these two companies are ones I would deep dive into, make sure they're healthy, make sure they're good, and then maybe just take a quick glance at something like the Amazon and maybe Continental Tire, and just make sure that these companies are continuing to do well, just to make sure the real estate's safe, because I know when I was scanning through this before, oh, here we go, the debt maturity by year. No, that's not what I was looking for. Where is, I saw something on here that here we go, the lease schedule. Sorry about that, guys. So this just shows you when the leases are kind of coming up, guys, and it looks like they're going pretty strong until 2026, which is very nice to see, and you can see the lease expirations. I like seeing this in companies like this because it helps you understand when in the future they may need to restructure their leases. This tells you a lot about how things are going to change into the future. Upcoming lease renewals, so for 2019, you can see we have about 10% of their leases coming up. And they'll just kind of briefly go over this and where the places are, what companies they are. Again, I'm not going to spend all the time in the world doing this. Track record for growing unit holder value, very healthy. Clearly, again, I'd have to understand this a little more, but just at a glance, you guys can take a peek as well. What else can we scroll through and see here? February 2019 equity raise, net proceeds of approximately $129.6 million, inclusive of overall allotment provided approximately $259.2 million of purchase capacity, blah, 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 blah. I'll keep scanning through here. Recent acquisitions. So it looks like these are newer acquisitions, apparently. So it looks like these are some new ones, and these are the newer ones they want to look in targeting. Very interesting. I have to deep dive a lot into this and just see these towns they want to build these in, why they want to build up these new properties on these blue dot areas. But let's just keep scrolling here and just take a quick peek at anything else we might be able to stumble upon. What else we got here? Anything else that's interesting at a glance? Location, I guess they're just highlighting here's some of the new projects we have going on, which is nice to see because that means we're going to maybe see some more dividends increases into the future, which is what I think we're all waiting for. But let's just jump into their books. I'm not going to scan through this anymore. And guys, I'll leave the links in the description below. You can go through their investor presentation here a little bit more deeper to understand this better. But what I really want to look at is their books, because this is going to help me know how healthy they are and how stable these dividends are. The companies seem really good with their lease rates and how long they're going to be sticking around for. On top of that, they seem like good companies. Again, you got General Mills guys and Amazon. Again, just you want to scan through them all, though, just to make sure there's going to be some long-term stability. And again, the better those companies do, the more warehouse space they're going to want to use and the longer they're going to stick around for. Because let's be real, Amazon probably does not want to move their warehouses around as little as possible just to keep the organization up. But here we go, guys. Let's get into the assets here really quick, guys, and just break this down. We like looking at the total assets of 1.153 billion, which again, you can really see changes from the fundamentals of this balance sheet because they don't show you a whole lot here, and we can only see of 2017 they had $1 billion. But as we look at their long-term record, it's very healthy. This company's done a good job growing. But what bothers me is why this company's been able to grow so much their total assets but not increase their dividend. That is a very questionable thing, again, guys, that you got to pay attention to. Why haven't they been able to raise the dividend much since 2014 when they've almost doubled their asset value? Is that just property growth, expansion? I'm not 100% certain, but you'll have to do a deeper dive in that. And same here, we got total liabilities, haven't changed too much over time, but we still got about $500 million. And again, that is in this platform, which isn't showing me a whole lot of anything, guys. So that's why I like, again, you should always, steer away not just from your trading account, but also go into the actual balance sheet that the company offers on their quarterly or yearly reports. So we have a total assets right now of 1.153 billion, which is quite an expansion, guys. It's very impressive. It's nice to see. And we got a total liability here. Let's just take a quick look because this is going to be shareholder and asset liability. But what we want to see is right here, the total liabilities of 578 million. So they have, again, a really nice, healthy thing you like to see with REITs. Again, I usually like to see it a little lower, but again, a 50-50 split isn't bad. So this just essentially means if they liquidated everything today, they'd be left about $500 million in assets, which again, with the market cap, what kind of market cap do we have on this company again? This usually shows you how they end up with this market cap number of 787 million. So that would also include some shareholder value in there as well. But again, very valued company. It's not terrible at all. The balance sheet looks fairly healthy that way. Again, you'd have to look into the leases and see these payments and just do a deeper dive. But these fundamentals on this REIT are extremely easy to look at. Like, I think I could spend a couple hours here and just really go over it and take a look at how this payment structure and everything works. And I think it'd be very graspable, my own words I'm going to come up with, because I think when you have the time, when you have a company like this, guys, that makes things so blatantly easy, that they're taking the time to make things easy to understand for investors. And I like this layout because you just got their portfolio, the investors, and the news. Everything's laid out right here, right away, other than it'd be nice to see some kind of contact info somewhere. Oh, it's right here. So we got contact us. Yeah, everything you generally need on a website to make it easy to look at the properties, see what they're doing, who their clients are. I love this, guys. This is a sign of a good, healthy company, good balance sheet. Again, I'd have to look at more of their income details here, but like I said, at a glance, guys, it's not terrible. Honestly, whether I'll consider buying it or not, Nick, I'm not 100% certain yet. I'm going to have to deeper dive into this. I usually never buy a stock at a glance. I usually will find something like this, seems interesting, put it on my watch list, and I could literally watch it for half a year, as I just generally buy other stocks that I like until this one I feel is more attractive or is just a little bit more appealing. But again, guys, overall, really nice company. I'm still more interested in companies like doing a deeper dive in Iron Mountain. I haven't deep dived into this enough yet to want to buy it. But again, when I look at their capital growth rate along with their dividend increase, it's a crazy, crazy appealing company. And if you're talking about another 5% yielding company right now, guys, you could also talk about something like Northland Power if you're not looking for REITs, the dividend, because Northland Power just kind of follows the same payment structure for some reason, haven't had much of a dividend increase in the last 5 years up till recently. But again, at least they've raised it in the last year, kind of shows a good sign that the company, you know, is doing what they can to keep raising the dividend when they can. And now that they're doing it in the future, shows that they're getting a healthy balance sheet, and it might imply there's going to be more dividend increases in the future, guys. I like seeing that with companies that they're able to do this, especially with the equity growth, because if we look at Northland Power here, let's go back. We look at Northland Power's chart. Oh, sorry, guys. If we go to back to the old Northland Power here, I know this is not a REIT, but it just seems very similar to me in the structure of it. You know, it has nice equity growth over time, very stable as new projects come into fruition, and you can see it has a nice, just a nice overall flow to the upwards with a nice healthy monthly dividend of just over 5%. Really though it isn't a REIT, this is just a natural energy company that I own. It's one of my largest holdings, but this company as a REIT really reminds me of Northland Power, just the way it grows over time. Dividends don't do a whole lot, but it's just generally one of those moats you might want to hold in your portfolio, because even Northland Power, guys, has grown a lot over time. Now that we're sitting at a $4.2 billion market cap, maybe this company will be doing the same in the not too distant future, just because they have all these new REITs coming into play and all these new projects. So this one I would definitely take a look into. It might be a good early play to get into now, especially with these new leases you might see coming into play. So put it on your watch list, maybe do a deeper dive, consider it. For right now, it'll be on my watch list. I'm sorry, Nick, I don't plan on buying it anytime soon. I'm going to continue to look into companies like Iron Mountain and REITs that just look a little more aggressive toward the growth side, just to take on more risk while I'm a little younger. But if I were looking for something a lot more stable, I definitely buy into this. If I ever end up managing my portfolio and changing it around, this will remain on my watch list, and I might consider adding a piece of it in the non-too distant future. But I will definitely let you know when and if that happens. But I hope you guys enjoyed this quick at-a-glance video of the WPT REIT. Thanks so much, guys. Consider liking, subscribing if you find these deep dives, or at a glance as I call them, videos, and I will continue to do them. I really enjoy them, and it's just a fun way to make me stay on my count in case I screw up, and it also helps educate both of us. So let me know if I missed anything in the comments section below. But stay cool, stay awesome, guys. I'll see you tomorrow.